What's going on, YouTubers? So we are under the rally truck right now. As you can see, I got the diff cover off here. We have to address some traction issues. There's a light right here, which is why I look like I do, but it makes it nice and easy to see in there. So anyways, traction issues. We could not get any traction. We were spinning one wheel no matter what we did. Off the start, off the turns, everywhere, just blowing one tire off of it. So we're gonna weld up this diff. Now I've seen it done a couple different ways. Let's take a better look at it here. So I've seen guys weld these things up a couple different ways. I've watched a bunch of YouTube videos. I've seen guys do it in person, but you'll see guys weld in here on all 4 spots and actually weld the gears together. I've seen them do that. I've seen guys actually weld the gears to the outside housing. And I've seen guys put a piece of plate in here and weld everything to the plate. All of those work. How long they work for and how well they hold, I guess all depends on the person doing it. We're not going to do it any of those ways. We're going to do it a completely different way that you may or may not have seen before. A buddy of mine who builds hot rods and throws one of the best hot rod parties in our area told me that you just need to weld between the teeth. Right in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop these gears out and I'm going to put them on the bench and I'm going to fill in this valley right here with weld and smooth it out on both sides, in the front and in the back. So there'll be 4 spots that are filled in with weld in here, so that when this rotates and the weld comes up and hits here, it'll stop, thus causing it to be posi. But in everyday driving, you'll still have some rotation back and forth, so you won't get that skip as bad as you would if it was welded up completely solid. So you'll still get some, difference in rotation when you're driving and turning corners, but you'll still have posi when you need posi. And trust me, this guy knows a thing or two about burnouts. If you've not heard of Hardcore Happening, when you're done subscribing and liking this video, go back to your search and type in Hardcore Happening, and you will see a lot of really cool cars doing some serious burnouts. And I'm not saying that they all have it welded like this. A lot of them probably don't. A lot of them probably have posi units, but that's what we're going to do, and we're going to put it to the rally test and see what happens. Now, also, we get bad wheel hop. When this thing does get traction, this thing just shudders and hops all over the place because, well, it's leaf springs. So what we're going to do is I got that fancy end link there thing from my cousin's warehouse, which I've talked about before, E-Tech Surplus. They buy stuff from big companies that are looking to shut down different parts of their factory, and it's cheaper for the companies that shut down the factory to just sell the whole area in a whole. So my cousin buys that stuff and then pieces it out and sells it. So those things were in a pile of stuff laying in the warehouse in the corner, getting all dusty, and I was like, hey, I can probably make traction bars out of those. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take that thing. I got another one laying over here. We are going to put them in here and make traction bars. And hopefully they work. But let me get to work here and I'll get back to you in a second. Alright, so I've decided to be lazy and I'm not going to take the gears out, because if you're going to go redneck, you might as well just go full send. Just redneck the crap out of it. So I'm just going to weld it right in there. I threw some cardboard in there to hopefully direct the slag out of the rear end. And when I'm all done, I'll just spray it out with some brake cleaner and try to get as much crap out of there as possible, and hopefully that works out. I'm just being lazy. I got too much crap going on. So, I don't know. Let's do it. And that's pretty much what we're going for. Just filled in the V. We'll do the same thing on that side, and then I'll spin it around and do the other side, and then we're done. We cover it back up. Alright, so now as you can see, both sides are welded, right? So this is basically how it works. This wheel turns, and then you'll see it'll hit. Boom, it stops. Now we have posi. But after I weld this side, it'll take half that amount of space. Oh, I went all the way around. When I weld the other side, it'll take half the amount of turnage to get it to work. So here, I gotta weld this side now, which is actually the hard side. I can tell you the back side was significantly harder to weld than the front side. But we're all welded up. So let's see what happens. Get this piece of cardboard out of here without burning my finger. And boom, posi. Back the other way, boom, posi. And we still got some rotation. All right, sweet. All right, so you can see in there, that side's welded, and that side's welded up there. Now, because I did it inside the truck here, really got to douche this thing out good. Try to get as much crap out of it as possible, so. Go down here like this. Try to flush everything out the back side. Now obviously this is cooled a little bit before I went and sprayed flammable fluid on it. I mean, I'd like to believe that's common sense, but then again, if you've been outside your house in recent times, common sense is kind of a lost art, so. Figured I'd tell you guys, yeah, let it cool off. Don't spray it when it's cherry red. It's a good way to catch your garage on fire. So, douche it out good and then put the cover back on, fill it with oil, and rip it. Hopefully it doesn't grenade. Alright, for those of you who may have not had one of these apart before, the fill plug for the oil is on the front of the rear end, front of the pumpkin here. It's a 3/8 drive, boop, comes right out of there, and then you just fill it up to the bottom of the hole. Okay? Okay, so as you can see, we are not in the shop. We got the diff welded up, but the traction bars ran into a little problem. The New York rust finally got us. The bolt in the leaf spring refused to come out. Hammer, impact gun, didn't matter. It wasn't moving. It was locked right up solid. So we're gonna have to come back to that at a little bit later date because yeah, it's a no-go today. I tried to mess with it for a couple days and it was no-go. I had my buddy CNC Plasma cut out some brackets and stuff to make the traction bars, but we're gonna have to wrap my head around that one, think about it, try to figure out a different way to do it. But we are here at my in-laws at the test track to try out this posi unit, see what happens. I got the GoPro, so let's have some fun. It's warm in here. So we lost the GoPro during that run, but the posi works really good other than the wheel hop. And I'm not entirely sure what to do about that. I think we'll add a little bit of weight for this weekend for the rallycross to the back. I think I'm gonna put the back bumper back on, and I might strap the spare tires in the back of the bed as far back as I can get them to see if that'll help. But I will post all that from this weekend when this weekend comes. For now, keep it creative and happy building.